So now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify polynomials. And polynomials is where you have more than one monomial together. And we're going to add and subtract them. So basically we're going to add and subtract like terms. So if I have my 4x squared, and over here I'm subtracting on the other side a 2x squared, those are like terms, so I'm going to subtract them. So 4 minus 2 gives me 2. The variables do not change when we are doing like terms. So there's my subtraction. But then I have a negative 5x, and I have a positive 3x, and I'm going to subtract. So negative 5 minus 3x will give me a minus 8x. And then my last one is I have 6 minus negative 1. 6 minus negative 1 is a 7. And so now I have a simplified polynomial because I cannot combine any of these because they're different, unlike terms. I have no negative exponents, and I have everything simplified. So there's my answer for this. So let's do addition. Adding like terms. So 6x squared plus a negative 4x squared is 2x squared. A negative 7x plus a 9x is a positive 2x. And then I have my last one, 8 plus a negative 5, which is a positive 3. And once again, those are all unlike terms, so I can't add them. So there is my answer. Now we're going to do the distributive property. And the distributive property is simply when you have something outside of parentheses. Distributive means multiply. So I'm going to take the 3x minus times the 2x squared. So 3 times 2 is 6. X times x. Now we do change our variables. So that becomes 1 plus 2 because we add the exponents, gives us a 6x cubed. Then if I take the 3x times the minus 4x, I get a minus 12. And then x times x is x squared. And then I do my 3x times the 6, which is 18, and I have just 1x. So now my answer has different terms, so I can't add any of those, but if any of them were like, I would add them, but since I can't, that is my answer. All right, now if we're going to multiply these, I'm still going to distribute. I'm going to take what's over here, and I'm going to multiply by what's on the other side of the parentheses. So n squared times n is n cubed. Now what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to and I'm going to distribute, so n squared times 2 will give me a plus 2n squared. But what I'm going to do differently now is anytime I see a like letter, I'm going to put it underneath. So if I take my 4n and I distribute, I have an n squared, so I'm going to put it underneath my n squared. And then when I take my 4n times my 2, I get a plus 8n. And then I take my negative 6 times n, I'm distributing, I get a minus 6n. So I notice I put my like terms underneath each other, and negative 6 times 2 is a negative 12. Now I can just add like terms pretty simply, or combine like terms, and I end up with my correct answer. So all I did was distribute, but I distributed everything on the left-hand side by multiplying by everything on the right-hand side. And that completes the multiplication of polynomials.